The day my friend, one of the directors, county directors of education that we were within the same class, took me for lunch. After taking the lunch, he told me, the bill is on you today. Sweat was all over my body. With me, I had only 50 shillings and we had taken something close to 500. You know, I had literally to tell him, let us talk outside for some 5 minutes.
Hi guys, welcome to this YouTube channel. My name is Sonia. Today I'm back in Naivasha and my guest today is a very inspiring man. So stay tuned till the end. Hi.
Hi.
Could you please introduce yourself?
I'm Granville Ndumba, a teacher by profession, a teacher of English literature, and an IELTS trainer.
IELTS trainer?
Yes. IELTS means International English Language Testing System, especially for the nurses who are seeking employment abroad and those who are seeking opportunities of employment abroad, and sometimes migration to countries such as Australia, Canada, and the United States. Besides that, I also do life coach, and I deal mostly with young people. And I remember that sometimes we normally hold events at Landmark Baptist Church for young people. I also, during my free time, do some counseling to young people, encouraging them. You might find me in various churches in Naivasha on Sunday, giving some motivational talks to young people and encouragement.
When did you start doing this?
Way back, I talk about in 2015, and I've done this several times. I used to do it at school. I would volunteer one of the evenings within the school program to just give a talk to the students and give them a word of encouragement concerning life. Because I realized that in the contemporary world, life is changing a lot. And because life is changing a lot, and the type of young people we are having nowadays are not the people we had several years ago. And that's why I say that it's important for us to talk to them each and every time. And that will help them change their attitude concerning life and avert issues of what we call suicide, because there is a lot of suicide going around, young people feeling that they are tired of living and they take their own lives. So I took a personal initiative to ensure that any young man I find having a challenge, we work together, we talk together, and that one will help that young man change his attitude. Amidst that, concerning what we call International English Language Testing System, I think during the Corona period is when I accessed some opportunities somewhere. And I was recruited by IDP Australia as through an interview, so that I would guide IELTS students or nurses towards opportunities abroad. And this one is through training and also examining their language skills.
How was growing up?
Growing up, I grew up in a small village not close to here, in Nandi County, a place called Kapsabet. Let me say near Kapsabet. As a young person, I just, as I was growing up, I was so enthusiastic and very aggressive. I went to a primary school next to home, though it was a little bit far. We termed it as a giant school because we believed it had the best teachers. So I used to walk around, close to around 7 kilometers to school. I always say that I used to come back for lunch, that is 7 kilometers. I go back to school 7 kilometers, and I come back in the evening 7 kilometers. So it was nearly,
It was challenging.
it was a little bit challenging. Taking into account that particular time, we did not have shoes, so we used to walk barefoot. And by the time I was reaching home in the evening, I had no toes because I would hit stones along the way, rushing here, so that I would not be late to school. That is how I grew up. And maybe something that maybe I would add, maybe I grew up as a person who loved education so much, and I really loved to give the best out of me, especially in education.
And which course did you take which helped you to be here?
Yes, after growing up, after primary school, I attended several schools within Nandi County. And I remember I went to Kemeloi Boys, and also in Form 1 and Form 2, I attended Senende Boys. But I left Senende Boys because of challenges of health. I had some challenges to do with health. So I had to leave the school to a school close to home. Then I did my Form 4. Then after Form 4, I remember that particular period of time, I really wanted to move to the university because of the way people talked about the university, that the university is the best place to be. And because I trusted and believed that I would make it, then after the results were released or posted, that is the time I realized that I had secured a grade that would take me to university. However, during that particular time, a C+ was not sponsored at the university. But my parent had promised me that I will do everything possible. If you get the minimum requirement, I'll do everything possible for you to attend the university. And I was positive. I said, I'll not disappoint my parent. I placed my best foot forward, worked tooth and nail, and I achieved a minimum of a C+. And my parent actually told me that I had made a promise. I now need to keep the promise in place, and thereby I attended Masinde Muliro University. I want to remember also maybe, I think attending Masinde Muliro University, that is in Kakamega, that was I reported in 2008. I think it was the 18th of August 2008. I want to remember very well during that particular time, it was a challenging time because taking into account that we had other siblings that were in school. I had a brother who had completed Form 4. Then I had other siblings. My sisters were in high school. And my parent had to pay high school fees. It was actually exorbitant. So attending university now and on the parallel degree program and having to pay around 80,000 per semester was something that was challenging. Of course, the 80,000 inclusive of what we call the meals and your accommodation. And sometimes as I went to the university for the first time, something that was very fascinating, my parent would not even manage to get me a phone. He told me that I'm giving you this my phone. By then it was called a Sagem, a very heavy phone that you'll carry it to the university. And realize that young people would not like things that would embarrass them before the others. Yeah. So I had to chew it bitterly and accept and say that, of course, in life I would get maybe a better one. If I struggled, even sometimes maybe you would not have maybe the best fittings or the best clothes to go that particular day, because I remember that I had some maybe 2 or 3 trousers that were very good, that would sound good when you wear. But I kept hoping for the best as I attended that university, though there were ups and downs here and there throughout that particular period of time. But I managed to graduate on 12th of December 2012. And I was studying Bachelor of Education as English Literature.
After your education, did you secure a job?
It was, many people think that after completing college, there are an avalanche of opportunities out there. Maybe there are a variety of opportunities out there. In fact, I was thinking that because my guardian or my parent was a teacher, then I thought that I think after I just complete, my parent will connect me to somewhere I'm going to get a job. And after I had finished, of course, I had to maybe be at home for a number of days. Then after a period of time, I realized, no, things are getting worse. I need to get moving on. I secured a job at a certain secondary school within the village, of course, around, let me talk about around 20 kilometers from home or 25 kilometers from home. I thought I would be walking every day to this school, because even getting some fare to ensure that I'm at school was actually challenging, because I had not been slotted in for payment. And maybe for the first few days I tried, it became very difficult. I would come home extremely tired, not doing anything, and I was always complaining, it's a long distance and I'm working for a meager salary, why should I quit this job? But my parent always told me that keep going, because in life things don't come on a silver platter. You need to struggle for it. So I decided, let me rent a room close to the school, so that it would be easy for me to commute. I realized the room I was renting, maybe it was around 3,000 on average, and the salary was 5,000. You can guess what was happening.
So you were not saving anything?
I would not save anything. And parents have got high expectations. In fact, I was ashamed. I would not tell my parents what I'm earning, because they had high expectations of me. Sometimes they tell you, can you assist your sister? Just give your sister some pocket money. Because in that school, I also taught my sister. It was extremely difficult to give out, taking into account you need to pay your rent. You have got some personal needs to meet. And that really challenged me. I remember very well, sometimes very late in the evening, we would still be in school very late in the evening, because we had nothing to do, nothing to do. So you'd choose maybe to stay in school late in the evening. Then at around 9:30, we would pass by a certain hotel. And I still remember the guy was very amiable, very friendly. And anytime we passed there, can you take a cup of tea and a mandazi? But of course, we knew at the end of the month, we would be done what? Would be paying. Yeah. Because we would pay all our bills at the end of the month, and you find out that I've paid in a hotel around 900 or 1,000 per month. Then you find out that in the house, you need to buy some few things you cannot buy, because you are only remaining with something like 1,000 shillings.
And your rent is 3K.
Yes, and people feel that you are working. Everyone, when you are working, the society looks at you with a lot of expectations, that we have got a fundraise, you need to do something. We have got a funeral, you need to do something. Sometimes maybe your parents, your mom is not feeling well, you need even to chip in with that little. But it was a little bit extremely challenging. So there comes a day, we were actually very frustrated. With a period of around 3 months, we have not received any pay. That means that I've not paid my rent for a period of 3 months. That is amounting to 9,000. We are always being told that we are going to pay soon, we are going to pay soon. There is no money. It reached a place that I was walking home to go and carry food from home, because things have become extremely difficult. And there was this day that maybe I was working on a book, The 10 Strategies to Success. I think I still have the book in the soft copy, though I got some few copies here and there. Then I think of, why should I not change? Because life has slapped me the wrong way. Imagine you would go to school. I had one shoe that I would use almost every time. I think my students never knew that shoe has got a hole at the bottom, because sometimes when it rained, the socks would get muddy. But you still have confidence to stand, because you should not maybe show anyone that you are failing, because I had that particular confidence. You have got a shirt, but it's torn in some areas, but you just need to move on and maybe put it on. So there was a day I decided, I had a friend working along the areas of Nyandarua. And my friend tells me, why can't you not try and come over? Then I told my friend, when I shared with my mother told me, I think you're going to a foreign land. You cannot get any job. No one knows you there. So there's nothing you are going to get. You know, growing up in the village has got somewhat we call village mentality. That I should just stay close to my parents. This is where I'm going to get a job. So I talked to my dad. My dad told me, God's timing is always the best. Don't move. Just stay around. God will open an opportunity. But here is a young man, a vibrant man who is suffering a lot but cannot reveal it to anyone. So I got back to my friend and told my friend, my parents are against this and I think I cannot move because they have not consented. If I move, I'm going to anger them. So my friend told me in Kiswahili, anyway, ushamba itakumaliza tu. That is what my friend told me. So I kept thinking about it for quite a period of time. Of course, going back to that place I was working, but always disoriented, disgruntled, because of the amount of cash I'm receiving. People say that money is not everything, but I personally normally tell people that sometimes if it's there, if there is an opportunity, you can get it. Of course, getting it in the right way is good to go for that. So a second time, my friend calls me again after a period of month. I told you to get out of that village, but you are thinking like a village person.
And have you received your payment yet?
I have not received my payment. And my friend is saying that I told you to get out of that village. Then I think, what am I going to do for this particular second time? I ponder over it. And now, then I talked to the bursar of the school and asked the bursar, when are we going to get our pay, literally? Or at what time are we going to get our pay so that maybe we can get moving? Then he tells me maybe that we have got maybe financial challenges here and there, and maybe the pay is not good for our clients, and that's why you shall wait for a long period of time. So I just remember that maybe what comes to my mind, one morning I wake up, and when you go back to that particular place, then we are given our cash. And I said, I need to keep going in life. That is the time, that night, I say, I made a noble idea. Because after I had received some few cash and not all, that morning I called my friend, is that opportunity still there? Yeah. My friend told me that great opportunity is still there. Just come over. I've never gone past, I don't know where it's Naivasha. Yeah. The only place I've passed is from home to Nairobi. I went there several years when I was young. So I said, I'm going to take the bull by the horns. The following morning, I packed.
When was this?
This happened in if I can recall very well, this was in 2012, not 2013. 2012, I had not even graduated by that particular time. I had not graduated, so I chose now to move all the way from Nandi County, coming to an unknown land. I just took the faith of Abraham that go to a land that I will show you, and that is what I did. I did not know this place. I came all the way. I alighted in Naivasha, and alighting in Naivasha, people are asking me, where are you going to? I say that I'm going to a place called Ndunyunjeru. Okay, the articulation would show that this one is a person who does not even know any place. Because so many people are asking me. I told the driver that I'm alighting at Ndunyunjeru. Do you know the place? I said, I don't know the place. And of course, I had carried a lot of things because I was actually like I'm on migration.
Did you tell your parents about this?
I called my parents that particular night that tomorrow I am traveling. They asked me why a short notice. Don't go before we give you a consent. But I felt this particular time I just defied. I disobeyed. That is what I can say. I disobeyed this particular time because I felt that maybe they don't know what I'm going through. So I just need to move and go. My parents were calling me along the way. Where are you going to? You don't know any person in that place. But I told them, let me go. Then, of course, I came over Naivasha, boarded a vehicle, of course, to Ndunyunjeru. And along the way, I felt like it was, thickets were all over. It was bushy. And I was asking, where am I going really to? Am I going to survive in this place? It was cold, especially when we reached a place called Murungaru. Extremely cold, and it was raining. I called my friend, I'm nearly reaching the place. My friend told me, you are not maybe far away. If you are in Murungaru, you are not far away. You will soon reach. I reached the place. It was a little bit rainy, extremely muddy. And I felt like maybe, I think I was coming to town. This is a place I'm actually coming to again. I remember that particular time, my friend had already talked to that particular institution, told that the teacher is around, and I think we should support this particular teacher. I felt supported a lot because I remember any challenge I was having, they would come in handy to support me. And that is the time I sprang up again and felt that life was a little better. The pay was a little bit good because I felt like I had been paid thrice what I was receiving. But remember, here is a person who has now disconnected with the parents. My parents would not call me again. We never communicated. Maybe once in a blue moon, maybe asking me where you are. But that communication was not a communication that you would say is that maybe an honest communication, maybe having defied what they had informed me. So I worked in this particular place then for close to around 2 months. And I can say that you need to get out of that cocoon of saying that I must work from home. Because after coming to this particular place, that is when an opportunity arose. You know, as always, maybe most of the teachers are employed under what we call Board of Management, Board BOM, that is most of the times. And you have to work under that particular charter for somehow a period of time till the time the government now absorbs you as a teacher. So there is this particular time, okay, I had to go to graduation. Of course, as young men, I'll say that maybe sometimes we are spendthrifts. And I've been paid for that particular period of time. Then I call my dad. I need to go for that graduation. But do you know I've not paid for the graduation gown? My dad asks me, after keeping quiet for all this long, and tells me that, you know, I'm treating you as my neighbor now. And I'm treating you as my neighbor since you are someone who can reason and someone who has what you call common sense. And if you have got common sense, you would have been saving so that you pay for your graduation gown. I'm like, but I thought my parent was the one taking me through this particular journey up to graduation. So I chose to travel home. That particular time I had to travel home so that I would see how I would convince my parent maybe to pay it. And of course, you can say maybe when I reached home, my parent told me, you know what, I don't have some cash. But as a young person, you would have been wise from the beginning. And informs me that, my son, I can assist you, but my hands are tied. And told me, let us walk with you. And I think the wisdom with my father was great. He took me to a fellow elder, and explained to the elder about me. Told the elder that this is my son. As you know very well, he's been to college for 4 years, and now he secured a job in Nyandarua County. He does not have money for the graduation gown. And I know you might be having some money with you. I want you to lend my son, and my son should commit to paying that money. So then I looked at my...
A duration.
I was not given a duration. I look at my dad. And I would not believe that my dad did not have what? Cash. Of course, I had to get the cash, then prepare for my graduation. Did the graduation, came home. After home, went back to Nyandarua for job. While in there was this particular time there were some elections. Was it in 2013? Yes, I think around March or February 2013. This made me maybe travel home. So while I was along the way going home, someone called me. And I always say that, of course, how you relate with people is very important, because that would save you a great deal. Someone calls me. These were opportunities calling. You can see, being in Nandi County, things are very worse, coming all over. My friend calls me twice, coming to this particular place. There are always opportunities calling when you get out of your comfort zone. So as I was traveling home, someone calls me along the way. Hello, Mr. Indumba. Do you have your graduation certificate? Then I ask, why are you asking? The person just asks me, answer me yes or no. I said no. Can you get it? I was actually traveling to home. I said, yes, I can get it. Why not? It was a weekday. I went all over up to Masinde Muliro University, and in fact, things were extremely simple for me. I went to the registrar's office, requested for my certificate. I was directed to a secretary, gave me the certificate. After getting the certificate, the same person asked me, have you got it? I said, yes. Now, when are you coming back? I never knew this was a colleague in the same staff room where I was working. So, moved to home, then after a period of time, moved back and told me that I would like you to drop all your documents at a certain place. I dropped all the documents. Then I waited for the response. And after that, waited for some few days. Then I hear that I've been called for an interview. Went to a certain school, of course, in Nyandarua. Then waiting for very long. You know, this one is an election time. It is actually unstable. People are moving up and down. So after waiting for a period of time, entering the gate, got someone sweeping there. And that is the time I realized that you really learn maybe to respect everyone you meet. Because I remember entering this particular gate, then got someone maybe cleaning close to the gate. Then I greeted the person. I told the person, I'm here for an interview. He told me, welcome. So I waited for long. Of course, maybe the interviewers had actually converged waiting for me. And they told me, you are just waiting to see whether the other people were coming so that we can begin the interviews. Of course, at around 11, no one has come. I'm the only one. And this one, I realized that this one is actually an opportunity that was calling me. And taking this into account, when I entered the interview panel, I realized that the person who was actually cleaning the gate was part of that particular panel, and had a major role to play. So that's why I say that anytime you walk, ensure that maybe you are respecting everyone you are meeting along the way. As a young and vibrant person, I would have assumed this person because it was none of my business. So in this particular case, interviewed, of course, you can see I was extremely happy, over the moon. I was the only one, so there was no other person. Then after that, I scored good marks. Then I'm told that you are there. You now have a permanent job with the Teacher Service Commission. I was over the moon, not knowing it was the beginning of my problems. That is it. Because after securing this job, I've now got everything. I have a job. I call my parents. Finally, you said I'll not get anything in this foreign land. I've now been employed by the Teachers Service Commission on a permanent basis. I did not know that this was the beginning of challenges here and there. And I always advise young people that it's always good to think before you leap. My guardian advised me, although we had been not in good terms because I had chosen the way maybe he had not agreed, my parent advised me, young man, begin saving. Life ahead is difficult. I did the opposite. I always squandered the salary I got and chose I'd take a loan to start off a business. I did not tell anyone, including my parent. I went to the loan, signed a good amount of cash. Of course, I don't fear revealing. I always tell people because I learned from experience, 750,000. 750,000 with me was a lot of money. And of course, I'd say that I would travel a lot. I traveled a lot. 750,000. I traveled a lot because I went to the bank. You get some 10,000. You still have money.
And what was your plan with that money?
My plan was to start up a photocopying business and some few things here and there. So what I did was, when I realized that I'm going to lose the cash, I ran home, built up some few rooms on a plot that my dad had. So put up some 2 rooms, and of course bought those particular machines. And after buying those particular machines, without telling my parent, the rest of the money I squandered it, close to around 200,000. I squandered 200,000. I tell people I would visit any town, so long as I had what we call cash. I would go for these particular nature parks, these good hotels, so long as just I went there and I felt like I visited this particular place. Then after maybe after a period of time, I had lost a lot. Then, of course, I had a girlfriend. We chose, let's get married. Yes, we get married. Then when she is coming, she has already chosen that we're going to stay together. That particular day, I have now enrolled for a master's degree program, and my salary has reduced to 12,000. It was the challenging part of my life. I've enrolled at Mount Kenya University.
You've married.
I've married. Number one, I'm staying at Kinamba. I'm commuting for 24 kilometers a day. So I'm paying 150 shillings going to school. Coming back, I'm paying 150. I need to feed my family. I nearly became depressed. I would go to work, yes. It was jovial because we had good friends. We would chat, we would talk here and there. But I always asked myself a question. How am I going to come out of this? At the end of what we call, at the end of every term, I'm traveling to Mount Kenya University because I've chosen to do a master's in education. So here I need to have around 70,000. I need to have 70,000 or 60,000. And of course, when I'm leaving home, then my wife should not remain suffering. I should provide something. So sometimes I used to sacrifice myself, all the cash. That is how I became a financial genius. So throughout that particular period of time, I used to make some few savings so that I know that when I go there, I pay part of the school fees. And then I leave my wife with all the money I'm having so that I remain with only fare alone to that particular place, to that particular university. Then, of course, when I went there, I think we had a class of very good people. I had a class of principals, sub-county directors of education, county director of education, and I was the youngest. So how did I survive? They would tell me, this particular weekend we are not around, and we have been given some assignment. Just finish up. Of course, we'll give you ideas, and when we give you ideas, type. When you type the ideas, then we shall check on you on Monday. When they came on Monday, I told them, I finished the work and even I'm going to submit. And I think they gave me something. They would always give me around 2,000 each because they were 5, 2,000 each, 2,000 each. And that is how I managed to pay my school fees. You can't just maybe, when I was actually there, things such as maybe lunch, going for lunch, that was a dream. I would not go for lunch. Surely I wouldn't. There was a day my friend, one of the directors, county directors of education that we were within the same class, took me for lunch. After taking the lunch, he told me, the bill is on you today. Sweat was all over my body. With me, I had only 50 shillings, and we had taken something close to 500. You know, I had literally to tell him, let us talk outside for some 5 minutes. And that is the time he understood me and told me, okay, I was just joking. I'm going to pay the bill. There were some of the maybe tough times maybe that I would experience. There was this particular time I went literally with, you know, for you to write an end of an exam, you need to have at least paid half. I went literally with less than half. And I was like, do you mean this semester I'm going to defer? And I remembered the words of my mother, that your father gave you a degree. You should never stay with that degree. Go high for a master's degree, and if possible, you can go for a PhD. And that is what we wish you. Then I said, no, I will not defer. I went to the exam room. The exam card was being checked. We had the exam cards being checked as usual. Then, of course, the invigilator checks mine and asks me that, you know, when I check the fee balance, because master's program, we are a little bit few, so someone would notice your balance extremely well. So tells me, do you know you need not to be in this particular class? And I think maybe how things went, and he just went and left me alone. And that semester I did all the exams.
How did you manage to do the exams?
Because I think it was just, let me say it was an oversight. Because every morning I woke up, I pray to God, let me go to that particular exam and I'm not chased away. And I think it was just an oversight. And that semester I did an exams, I attended my studies, and that is what happened. I finished up that particular semester. So I did the two years. After the 2 years, I've done my coursework, and I've really spent. There was nowhere I never took a debt when I was studying. Nowhere. I had debts all over. I went to Equity. I did a top up. I did Easy what? It's called Easy Loan. The one that is taken over the phone. I've done another one. So I had debts and debts. I had debts of people, but I said that the journey is tough. But because I'm ambitious that I need to do something, then I need to keep on moving. There was
This time, are you utilizing the loans correctly?
Yes, I was utilizing the loans correctly. That is what was happening. I had learnt a lesson after squandering the 750,000. I learnt a lesson. I remember my girlfriend knew that I had the 750,000, and she told me, I know you have got money. I know you have got money, but I want to advise you kindly, put that money in the correct use. Why can't you buy a plot in a prime place that will help you in the future? You will not suffer in the future. You know, I did not listen to that particular advice. I just brushed it off because I did not listen to that particular advice. And I always tell her, if I had listened to your advice, I would be a millionaire now. I was stupid by then.
To your photocopy?
It collapsed. It collapsed. I would not be at work and I'm managing something that is at home. Everything collapsed, and I literally again sold everything. When I became financially bankrupt because I did not have money, I sold everything. So here I'm actually in the college, in the university, studying for my master's in education. Then I finished the two years. I remember we had a friend that dropped along the way, a friend who dropped along the way because of what we call financial issues. But for me, I would not drop along the way, but I had debts all over, including I had a debt for my parent. There was a day I called my parent, and my parent told me, my son, I'm giving you money, but remember, you need to refund this money to me, because I'm only helping you out because you are a little bit stuck. After the 2 years, I did not know that. I thought that maybe I was celebrating, I'm through. I came to what we call research. You know, research, you are going to the field and defending of what we call the thesis. I remember, did the research, did everything, of course, spending lots and lots of money. I had to do research in maybe various schools in Kinangop. I spent lots and lots of money. That is what happened. And after spending these lots of money, and I'm telling you, these all are debts. I'm incurring debts, expenditures on everything. I went for my defense, and because I had done something that was very good, I did my defense, and I passed my defense. Then I was told to follow up the rest with my supervisor. Life actually became difficult. And I always, if there was a point in life I was to lose hope, is when I was now doing what we call my final write-ups for my research to prepare for the graduation. Look at this. You have got a fee balance of around 150,000. You are doing a research to graduate. Your supervisor, I've just submitted my research. I'm a teacher of English, and I believe that I'm good in English. Then when I take my research, my supervisor tells me that I pity the students you teach. That is what he told me. And that was a word of encouragement, because I had made several punctuation mistakes. And he quarreled me and told me that I'm tired with you. I want you to go back to the Senate. I'm going back to the Senate today to present a report to say that my student is frustrating me as a supervisor, and I'm not going to proceed with this. Then I'm like, do I mean that I'm not going to graduate with my master's degree program? That I'm not going to make it? And that is why I say that however much maybe you feel that maybe you are intelligent, there are cases that you need to bend law and nail law. I made a visit to my lecturer in the office, and I told my supervisor, I would like to talk to you. He told me, no, look at you. These simple mistakes for a master's student who is also a teacher of English should not make such a simple mistake. And I went on my knees. After going on my knees, I told my supervisor, please help me. I have got a dream to fulfill in life. If you leave me hanging, I may not be able to do what? To finish it up. My supervisor told me this. Now we are going to do this. Get the document in your email. Begin the corrections immediately. And after doing the corrections, send this particular document to me immediately. I'm going to look at it in this particular month. Remember, this one is actually December of 2018. I did that very fast, sent to my supervisor. Of course, after getting it, he told me, I'm in China. I may not be able to have a conversation with you maybe soon, maybe when I come back. When he came back, he looked at the document again and told me, now you've done what I needed you to do. You made it so clean. You are now perfect. But I now want you to do this. I would like you to go back again, do the final touches, then see whether you can go in for what we call the graduation. And I think this one actually was a little bit maybe challenging to me. I was taking an account that I have got some school fees to pay, 150,000. What am I going to do? Am I going to graduate, or am I going to leave it along the way? Of course, I kept saying that let me move at a snail's pace, but at the end of everything, I'm the one who is going to do what? I'm the one who is going to make it. So after a period of time, I did the final corrections. Of course, I had to use lots and lots of money, because my documents were to be checked for what we call the issue of plagiarism, okay? I had to use lots and lots of money. So then one day I wake up in the morning, and the supervisor has sent me a note in my email informing me that you are now due for graduation. I would like to do what we call the final touches. Of course, I did the final touches, presented my document. After presenting my document and checking the graduation list, I was there. This is in 2019. The problem is school fees. I've not paid. I cannot clear. And I had to do some fundraise, I'd say, which I did not like very much. I did not like because I felt that this journey should be all alone with me. So I had friends who volunteered to help me out, and I managed to clear off the fee balance, of course, on a loan from the bank. I took another loan from the Another loan from the bank. And after taking another loan from the bank, I now cleared of that particular debt, and I was due for graduation. I'd say that it was a very difficult journey, if I mention it, because of the financial crisis, because after clearing, I now came back again to start paying off the debts slowly by slowly. And of course, by then, life is extremely challenging. I just maybe want to remember, some days I would get all the way from Kinangop to Kinamba on foot. There was a day I came on foot because I did not have fare. And I remember very well, there's this particular day, a friend of mine, this particular friend, was actually plying the same route and tells me that, can I give you a lift? Then because I don't want to get embarrassed, I don't have the cash, I tell my friend, no, I'm just reaching here, so don't bother with me. And of course, I knew I was walking all the way to Kinamba. Those were some of the challenges, and maybe I got a lesson from it. However much is difficult, there is always what we call a ray of hope at the end of everything. There is always a ray of hope. I just want maybe to feel that when I was beginning this particular journey, everything was difficult, there are no finances, but I always remember one story: keep going. However much it becomes tough, it is important for you to keep going. Because sometimes I lost hope along the way. I lost hope. As a family, everyone lost hope. My wife lost hope. My wife asked me, when are you graduating? You have overstayed. I've now gone for around 4 years and I'm not graduating. There's nothing. I told my wife, it's difficult. Everything is difficult. Sometimes you would find me late in the night reading books and books, trying to make corrections to my thesis, to my document. It tells me that these particular people are playing games on you. You've stayed for too long and you're not graduating. But I said that maybe there is a day that I'm actually going to conquer over this. And that is why I felt that I actually owe that particular master's with a lot of pride. I value it a lot. Though maybe it has not helped me to scale up the ladder in most of the time, but it being just a paper, I really know that I had to struggle for it. And that's why I encourage maybe most people maybe who are in their early years of education, who are going through challenges in education. Sometimes you don't have school fees, that everything is normally possible. Someone by the name Joyce Meyer said that the battlefield is in the mind. Our battle actually is normally in the mind. The moment we feel we are defeated, actually we are normally defeated. That is what I'm going to say. The moment we feel that we cannot move on, I'll say that we can never move on. Our battle is in the mind. Let us think in a positive way. Let us do things in a positive way, and we are going to conquer it up. Sometimes I felt like maybe there are better things that I can do. You know, people don't value education. They say that so long as you can get something that gives you money, then you can abandon education. That is not the case, because we say that knowledge is a service that cannot get rotten. You have it all through, and you can help as many people as possible. And that is why I now developed a passion and said, no, then I must have something in order to mentor other people. to advise other people that in life everything is normally possible. And if I can say, maybe from there, sometimes I do maybe consultations on issues to do with curriculum development. Maybe someone is beginning a private school. What are some of the things we should put in place so that we ensure that our students are all round? I come in handy to help because I've got skills in that particular area.
And how did you shift from Kinangop to Naivasha?
I'm still in Kinangop. I only live in Naivasha because I'm still in Kinangop because sometimes back I felt maybe it was a little bit cold, and maybe that is why I moved to this particular place. But despite having those particular challenges in life, the challenges actually, I had to pay off all the debts. I paid off literally all the debts, and something just great happened in life, and that's why I had to pay off all the debts. I remember I was online. You know, sometimes some things happen and you say that maybe people are not aggressive to look for opportunities. When online, I check a post advertised for the International English Language Testing System, and a friend just tells me, you are qualified for this thing, but someone tells me that, but this one is for international students, not local students. And I feel that I say, let me give it a try. I remember this happened during the Corona period, and I gave it a try. I passed on my documents, my language documents. I passed on research that I've done in language in English, because I've even published research online concerning language. Then I passed on my document, but I waited and said, oh, I missed on it. I did not qualify. Then one time I find an email from Australia in my inbox that we have scheduled you for an interview. We have scheduled you for an interview this particular weekend, because of course we have scheduled you for an interview on a weekend. But I said, but Nairobi is locked. I cannot move to Nairobi. And I said, this one is now Saturn. You know, everyone would think that it's Saturn working on besides you. Then they tell me there is no problem. You can use a laptop, a Zoom. I have never used Zoom, to be sincere. I had never used Zoom. It was my first time. I asked, how am I going to use Zoom? They sent me an invite. We have sent you an invite. We are going to use this particular link. I don't have a laptop. You can see how some opportunities some things can lock you out of life. I started scouting for a laptop. I borrowed all my friends their laptops, but that particular day their laptops were not working. I remember I borrowed a friend's laptop. When I was using it in the house, the camera was not good. I had to give it. The interview is approaching slowly by slowly. After I had borrowed around 3 laptops, I said I'll use my phone. Then I emailed, I'm going to use my phone because my laptop is not working. They told me, no, we need you to use a what? A laptop. We have a purpose for that. I had to find a laptop, but I found another one that the camera was not a little bit well, but somehow good. So they told me that we are logging into the interview as from 2, it was actually, I think it was 2 p.m. Kenyan time. So what was I to do? I had to walk. In fact, I did it at somewhere. There was a church in Kabati. That is where I had to handle the interview, a church in Kabati. I went there 1 hour to time. I sat there. I placed there my laptop. I had downloaded Zoom. Because I did not know how to use, I just clicked on the link. It asked me for the ID and whatever the passcode. I typed the passcode in and waited. So at 2 p.m. the interview began from Australia. And so I think I had maybe a lot to do during that particular interview, because they were looking at maybe how experienced are you in handling international students. I never knew that I was going to be a tutor for nurses. I never knew that was the case, because I thought, now I'll be teaching students in UK, Australia, Europe. That is what I was thinking about. Then I was graded for a period of 1 hour. 1 hour, a 1 hour's interview. After I finished the interview, I felt that, Hey, this particular interview, I felt that I had lost it. But I went to the house having hope. I remember meeting one of my friends and tell me, are you through with the interview? I told my friend, of course I'm through with the interview.
What made you think you lost it?
There was one question that I was asked I was not sure of. So I guessed, and I had not known it in language, I guessed. So I felt that that particular question might have thrown me out of proportion. And I waited for the results, waited for it for a period of time. I was not even being given any limelight of what happened during the interview. So after a period of time, maybe I get an email. You qualified to be with us as an international language tutor and trainer. I wouldn't believe that was actually what had happened. And that is what maybe led to my success in life. Reason being, after that, I'd say that I got 2 online students, 2 online international students. Then they asked me one question: how much do you charge for your classes? I was confused because I had not set even a website. I was confused. Then I informed them that I charge 10,000 Kenyan shillings. They told me, can we pay you today so that we begin our lessons online? There's no problem. I told them there is no problem. Kindly please pay me. They paid immediately. That was the beginning of another different career in life that has actually been a fascination in my life. I saw the 20,000 as a God-given gift. And after a period of time, I got links all over. I had a student in Zimbabwe. I had, currently I'm having a student who is joining class from Italy, Uganda, and of course in Kenya. And now currently I manage a class of 120 students online. 120 students.
With a payment of 10?
Yes, 80% of them being 80% of them being nurses who are pursuing careers abroad. That one has taught me a lot of lessons in life. One, it taught me that as young people, we need to align ourselves to opportunities. I've tried quite a number of things in life. I'd say that I've tried journalism also. I had cameras, I've tried it. We have made a shooting on young people at a church in Kyoto. We were actually interrogating what are the challenges, maybe killing especially the young people in their daily lives. We did a feature with them. I think we still have that particular feature on young people. We would visit them, talk to them, they give us their views, we record them, and maybe we try to provide solutions to their challenges. I've tried that. I've tried business. It failed terribly. I've been in what we call several financial fixes in which I've been unable to come out because of maybe the issue of maybe not having enough to come out those particular financial challenges. But I come to a place whereby I have got a vast ground to play on. And that one is through what we call perseverance. I always tell young people that it's not our parents to secure jobs for us. So long as your parent has given you what we call a baseline, use the baseline to create an opportunity for yourself. So long as your parent has given you the basic skills, you can still align yourself to various opportunities in the world. I remember sometime just 2 weeks ago, someone was calling me from the UK to prepare him a curriculum for teaching learners. And I don't know the person. The person is I don't know the person, but the person can see me online. I do some good work in language, and this is why the person is actually maybe asking me, prepare me what we call a curriculum. Up to current, I don't have a website, but I've developed one. It will be functional as from tomorrow, whereby many people can enter various classes at their own time.
And you do all this by yourself?
I do all this by myself. I know how I juggle in. I've not been on a platform to now recruit trainers, but I believe in future I'll be recruiting trainers for that particular institute, because I need to put some protocols in place so that I can recruit trainers. I'd say that during the day, I'm a teacher of English. I teach. During the day, I attend to my learners, because these are young people who are growing up. You need to show them, you need to lead them. So my day normally starts at 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m. At 3 a.m. in the morning, I handle around a 2-hour or a 3-hour class in the morning, 3 a.m. Then, of course, I leave house at around 5:40, headed to Kinangop for work. I reach the office at around 6:10, 6:20 over there. Then I organize my day, because for you to do that, you need to organize your day. Any 10 minutes is very valuable in my life. And that's why, however much, even someone is my friend, we can only meet on what we call once in a blue moon. Because one thing, I'm unable to sit somewhere for a period of around 30 minutes, because I will lose a lot. And that's why on Sundays I don't normally have the online classes. I don't have them, because the reason being that I feel that I should attend church. However, during the night, I normally choose to have these particular classes. And that's why I tell you that my day begins very early in the morning. I'm always awake. And let us maybe 12 midnight or 11:30, I'm always on. That is how my day is normally like.
So you only have some few hours to sleep?
Yes, I have some few hours to sleep, and I've programmed myself that I have some few hours to sleep. One of my friends was calling me very early in the morning at around 5 a.m. and I did not pick the call. I was on, but I did not pick the call. Then he tells me, people who sleep a lot will always die poor in life. If you find yourself sleeping a lot, you always die poor in life, because there is nothing that you can do nothing for yourself. So I always time myself. The things we need in life are with us. It's an encouragement to young people to always align themselves to opportunities, to persevere. I know there are people who are losing hope in life. They become drunkards, drug addicts because of their past events. Because maybe they did not secure opportunities after going through the education system, they are disoriented, disgruntled, and they feel they have lost everything. I would encourage anyone to always align himself or herself to opportunities outside there. No matter what, it begins slowly. Sometimes it begins slowly, but after a period of time, you are going to pick up. I don't know how many people I'm controlling online nowadays. I cannot tell. But I'm sure on a daily basis, there's something I'm getting. There's something I'm getting on a daily basis because of the classes that I'm having online.
And do you have any challenges?
Yes, I have challenges when it comes to online. I have various challenges. Sometimes you get a little bit exhausted and you are unable to hold a class because you use your voice a lot. Like there's a day, a weekend, I did a lot of classes and I felt that my voice became hoarse and I had to take some medication. Some other challenges are what you call, you are a parent and you also need to attend to your family. So if you are online so much, you might become a social misfit. You might not be able to socialize, because most of the time maybe my friends call me, maybe we need to have a chat over something. I might not be able to attend because I'm already online. Those are challenges. Examples: being a social misfit, sometimes not being able to interact with people a lot, it becomes challenging to you. Those are what I can maybe call challenges. Sometimes timing. You might realize that maybe you have got an issue that is tying you up, that you might not be able to attend to an online class, and maybe your students might see maybe as if maybe you've dodged them to attend that particular class. So those are some of the challenges. Also juggling between maybe being a teacher. You are juggling between being a teacher and maybe attending to other students maybe who are online. Those are some of the challenges here and there. But it's always something that is satisfying, because amidst that, it betters my delivery skills, my language skills anywhere I go. I'm able to learn even from other people. That is what I like about it. It means that I'm just extending what we call my teaching career on the online platform. That is what helps me a lot.
Maybe we can wind up by you advising people who have given up in life.
Somebody said somewhere that failing is not a problem, but the power to get up is what you should have. It does not matter whether you have failed 10 times. It does not matter whether people have looked down upon you. But what matters is the power of going forward. If people don't praise you, praise yourself. If people don't value yourself, and go for those opportunities that are there before you. I've gone through a lot. If I was to write a book, I would write a book of 1,000 pages, because this one is just a nutshell of maybe of what I've gone through. But after I believe in striving. I believe in that perseverance, that if you are capable of enduring the storms in your life, then you are capable of even greater achievements in life. I have hopes in future that one day maybe I'd make it to come up with what we call a languages institute that is going to serve people internationally, whereby learners can come to learn language and do a variety of things. That is my hope, a dream to achieve. I had this dream several years back, that sometimes in life I would be great, and that is what I'm living now. To that person who is out there feels that some time back I've been having challenges. Don't sit on those challenges. Use the challenges as stepping stones to a greater opportunity in life. That is what I might say to the young people who are facing challenges. We know what is happening in the world nowadays. You find out that someone maybe takes his or her own life because of a challenge in life. That is not the right way to go. If you can be able to overcome that stumbling block that is before you, then you can maneuver through life and maybe get an opportunity. Sometimes young people would like to drop into opportunities that are well paying. Look at a person saying that has just completed university. I want a 6-figure salary. That one is a goal that is not achievable. We must learn to take steps. Let us take steps. Let us fall. Let us get the scars for us to see the stars in life. Because if you don't get the scars, how will you value the stars in life? It becomes very impossible. So for those people maybe who are dropping out of college, and maybe they would like to live a very posh life, Look at a person maybe dropping out of college and says that I would like to own a bungalow. I'd like to own the best E-Class Mercedes in the world. I would like to be great. That is unachievable. And that is why you realize that when such a person does not achieve that, what happens? Depression, high blood pressure, and suicide. That is normally what happens. It is not yet time to take your own life for things that you can correct in your life. I tell people we need to humble. Just humble, take the steps, and later on in life, you're going to be great.
Thank you for sharing your story. It's encouraging. I believe people have benefited from it.